Okay, welcome back. Let's continue. For today, we want to talk about counts. Counts. Remember, I told you that count is just literally what it is. You want to count something, you may decide to count how many cells are blank, maybe empty. You can decide to count how many cells are filled. You can decide to count how many cells have numbers. So it all depends on what you want to count, right? So let's practice it. So we will be doing something just below this table, maybe somewhere here. Now these are letters and not numbers, right? So let's practice counts. I will just put count. Now for the first count, it counts the number of cells in a range that contains numbers. That's a cell, the cells that contains numbers. That's the normal count. But now you have counter. Counter counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So even if they are containing number or they are containing words, it will count them. But let's go one step at a time. Let's do count. So count, I want to count how many subjects are we even talking about here. What did it do? 0. Why? Can you remember? Count is for only numbers. It doesn't count anything that is not numbers. So, but if you drag it here, remember it's going to now apply to Joe. What is it counting? 7. Do you get it? Now, let's extend the coverage down to this side. Let's see what happens. It only counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the numbers. So that's how count works. It doesn't understand anything that is not numbers. So, but let's change this to counter. Counter counts the number of cells in the range that are not empty. So whether they are numbers or not, it counts them. I hit on enter. Remember the range is here, so it counts them, right? Now this can be said, this is the number of subjects that we are offered. Do you understand? So this one is counting only numbers. This one is counting anything that is not empty, right? Let's do another type of count. Equal to count. Equal to count. Now you may want to count the blanks, but where I am now there is no blank, so I'm not going to run it there, right? I'm going to come back here. I'm going to come back here. Let me just delete this. Now equal to count. I want to do count blank, right? Count blank. Count the number of empty cells in a specific range of cells. So I'm going to select from top to bottom. What is it going to return to me? 1. It's only this one that is not filled. But there is a trick in this thing. Let's assume I put a space bar here. It's still seeing it, but my physical eyes, I can't see anything here, right? A space bar is literally looking like an empty cell. That's what I wanted to say. So you can see it still does not recognize this as an empty cell because in the actual sense, it is not empty. It has something in it, though you may not see it. So that's the problem. So now I can decide to delete whatever it is I've written there and hit enter. It counts it as 2. Look at it. It counts it as 2. So that's count. Now remember we have looked at count. Count counts only numbers. We have looked at counter. Counter counts anything that is not blank. And then we have seen count blank. For the sake of this table, let me restore this. We have seen count blank, which counts the number of blank spaces. Now, what other types of counts do you have? You have the just go around and know what you want, right? What you want, just go around. But you see 1, 2, 3, they are the basic ones. This one is going to come up, this and this is going to come up when we want to treat the if statement. That is far more deeper, and that is like a conditional statement. I want to count, but I want to count it only when a particular condition is met. I can decide to say if the subject is mass, or as far as the subject is not CRUK, you can count how many other subjects that are there that are not CRK. Or you can say, just tie it to any criteria that you feel you want, and then you will give it out. That's the count if. But we are going to look at that at a later date when we are ready to deal on that. So that is that for this particular series. I hope we have been able to deal with everything that is what we wanted to achieve. We have talked about understanding formulas, the common formulas. We have used the AutoSum tool. We are able to do justice to this module. We are going to be progressing to the next module. So next, see you when we get there. Thank you, and do have a lovely time. Make sure you practice. I want all of us to be excellent in these things. See you in the next one.